What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Wrench and Rip. In today's video, we are going to be modifying some pedals to make them a little bit longer and prepping this whole frame for paint. So, first part going to be kind of fun. Second part going to kind of suck, but we have to do it nonetheless. Stay tuned. Okay, so before we do all the prep to the rest of the paint and the frame on this thing, we're going to knock out these pedals. And you can see here, they kind of set forward a ways. You know, they come up from the pivot down here and then they come forward, which is great if you're a small kid like this thing was made for, but for bigger people, it's just kind of, they're a little too close, and it also makes it feel super weird because instead of being able to push on it like a normal pedal, you kind of have to like stomp at it because the pivot is like offset weird. It's not just like, you know, like a pedal would normally be. It would just pivot right there. It feels weird. It's not right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this chunk off, cut it off there, weld it on the back at an angle, kind of like that, so it lines up here. So we're gonna get a whole, you know, 2-3 inches further extension, and hopefully also make it feel more normal. So let's get to cutting. I'll show you guys one. They're identical. So, you know, I'll just do the second on my own, but we'll grab this one here and let's chop it up. As you can see, all welded up. So basically this part, this upper part here, used to be right there going straight up. So I put it behind, I angled it back so it lines up with, you know, if you drew a line, it would go right through there. So feels good, a lot more roomy. I just got to clean them up, and I'm going to round these corners and stuff, make it look nice, and we'll call it done. And this is actually the final welding part of the Army Kart build. Thank God. I don't know how you welders do it all day, every day. Well, here's the finished product, all cleaned up, rounded, and finished. I'll show you what they look on the, so they just slide in right here. There's one. And two. You can see, they make the rest of the go-kart look very crappy. But they sit just perfect in there, and you can see how much further back they sit. You know, before it was all the way up here. Now it's like a full 2 inches, and it's right above the pivot point, so it should feel normal. And the base that rests on here is in the same spot, so that was unaffected. The length of the linkages is unaffected. All that is all good to go. So pretty happy with that. Let's continue with the prep. Ugh. Well, guys, we're back once again. It's like a day or two after I last filmed. We're jumping around a bit in this video. I was planning on getting the pedals done and then doing all the paint prep, but we have some other stuff to do before then, and that is mock up our new Sunf tires. You guys know I love Sunfs. They're the best. And they had a tiny little size perfect for this go-kart. So I got some Sunfs, and you guys get to see the color. Nice army green. Satin. It looks more shiny on video than it actually is, but super cool. So I have to mount these up because I might need to make some bump stops in the front, so when I steer, tire won't hit the frame. So we got to mock all that up, mount some tires, and then we'll move on to prepping and painting more stuff. A little air in the tube, it kind of holds its shape in there, so you won't have to fight with it so much if you're mounting these up yourself. And make sure you triple check your tire orientation. This is going to be the driver's side front, so I need to, line up the stuff. Some tires don't have, a direction like that, but some do. So just make sure you look into it. Valve in. These have pretty tight beads, so use some sort of spray. This is kind of like a sudsy sort of lubricant, and you can kind of pop the bead on. It's easy with a tube anyways, because you don't have to worry about seating the bead and all that. You just have to make sure you get the tube in there without pinching it, and you're pretty much good to rock and roll. The side, these split rims have a little notch, so make sure you line that up as well. Give these some lube. Don't go too much, because some of that might kind of stay inside the tire and inside the rim for a while, so you don't want too much of that junk in there. Make sure also when you're mounting these up, only split rims, but want to make sure you're hearing kind of metal on metal clacking when you're putting the rims together. If it sounds soft, it's not really like making a sharp noise when the rims contact. You might have your tube in between the two rims, and when you tighten them up, you'll puncture the tube right away. So just kind of check and take your time. No need to rush it. I want to give a shout out too to BMI Karts and Parts. It's where these rims came from. They had some really fast shipping, and their prices were like unbelievable compared to anywhere else. It was like less than half the price from them. I think each of these were like 11 bucks or something crazy. So you're doing a good job, BMI, if you see this. Boom. Is that not the coolest go-kart rim you've ever seen? Check that thing out. Let's air up the tire and pop on the bead. If you guys see bubbles from your whatever kind of lubricant you use, dish soap or whatever, don't worry, it's just the air that's inside the tire but outside of the tube kind of squeezing out. So don't you worry about that. Just get them up to basically the max seating pressure it'll be listed on the tire. In this case, it's like 30 psi, and now they're rock hard and super pointy kind of looking. And then just let some air out. Let a lot of the air out. Alright, time to mock these up. Alright, they are mocked up on the cart. All the steering's assembled, at least temporarily. Still looks good though. I gotta clean up those lug nuts. They don't look quite as fresh as the other ones. But here's the dilemma, basically. You can turn to the left, and this doesn't really go to the frame. It has just enough room there, which is perfect. And this one has room here too. So we're good turning left. The problem comes in when you want to turn right. This will just run right into the frame there. So we need to limit the turning right. Alright guys, so we got our steering all figured out. Basically what I decided to do was weld 2 chunks along the side here, if you can see those. These are new. Those weren't there before. And what happens is when you turn each way, that runs into the chunk of metal.
On the wrong side.
Yeah, it just runs into it right there. Same on the other side, and it just keeps it just off the frame. You can see there's about the same gap on each side, so it's good. And like I was saying to Josh,
yeah, I showed up, by the way.
Yeah, when I want to build something, like I want to make it so other people can use it, not just you.
Yeah, and you don't
have to give them a brief. You go, careful turning right because the tire will bite the frame.
Yeah, there's a whole list of stuff that's not up to par.
And it's never gonna go well. Like it'll just rip all the paint off. It'll just who knows what can happen. So it's better this way. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna prep the back, the axle, all this stuff. It's getting painted black.
Just like Mick Jagger says, paint it black, right?
Yes, he does say that. Alright guys, all prepped up, taped up, and primed up. It's time for color coat. Look at how good that came out, guys. So everything's all painted. The axle, I even took these off and then put them back on before I clear coated, so they have a protective layer on them. Man, it looks like brand new, doesn't it? So that's super nice. Now we get to the daunting and depressing task of prepping this entire frame for paint. Honestly, I don't think it's worth you guys watching that. So I'm just gonna do it. We'll close out this video here. We got this accomplished, which is great. You guys can see also our future paint color, which is right here, the Willys Jeep kind of green. And basically I'm just going to spend many hours with a wire wheel on the angle grinder, just grinding all this rust and flaking paint away. So wish me luck on that. I will catch up with you guys once it's actual paint day, which is going to be the most exciting day of this project by far. I will see you guys on painting day. Till then, keep wrenching, keep ripping. We'll see you guys next time.